by far the most expensive thing we have tried today. It's hard to say if it's worth it. I mean, this is a once-in-a-lifetime culinary experience and something I will remember forever. This morning, as I lamented the fact that my child was born without teeth, I also set a goal for myself. A day to eat over $1,000 of whatever I want from the ocean here in Thailand. And I have done that. Time to add up the crazy consequences. Boom! Today I started out with a mission to spend over $1,000 on seafood here in Bangkok. And I tried to do that at two different locations. We started at the local market, a very humble origin story, where I had two different types of seafood that added up to this amount of money. Cha-ching is on the screen, probably. And then we went to the Ministry of Crab. Wow, two different dishes. All that together, this much. Cha-ching, it's on the screen. And then it's on one final location. It's like some guy's house. We got two dishes there, and it cost this much. Cha-ching. Did we indeed spend over $1,000 on seafood? The answer is yes, my friend. We spent $1,191. And I was doing research that turns out babies are born without teeth. It's normal. So I'm feeling doubly happy. Throughout the day, I tried 6 different seafood dishes. I want to tell you right now which one was my absolute favorite. It was the giant lobster that was topped with whipped cream. There was something innovative and playful about the recipe that I really enjoyed. So that was a $1,000 seafood challenge. I have doubts now. But if we did this challenge somewhere else, where do you think we should do it? Let me know. Your thoughts downstairs in the comments. Otherwise, that is it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Time to go fishing in the bathroom. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'm leaving. Where are you laying on? I wanted to look as I walk in. I'm very late right now.
Help the girl get Dove, spill the tea on healthy hair. New Dove 10-in-1 Serum Mask. Deeply repairs and nourishes hair in one night. For 10 times stronger hair that's full of life. Keep living, we'll keep preparing.
This is a spiny lobster, and this is a slipper lobster. And these are just two of the 75 lobster species you'll find around the world.
Today I'm on a mission to eat every lobster in Asia.
They're not messing around here.
And by the end of this video,
That's a big, fat beauty.
I'll be taking on the most expensive, most massive lobster that money can buy. First, these guys, what many refer to as a freshwater lobster.
That being the crawfish. This is going to be the cheapest lobster-like creature we'll be eating all day, coming in at just 13 cents for one of these guys. There is just one small problem. This is not a lobster. Crawfish live in rivers, swamps, and lakes. They are freshwater creatures, whereas lobsters, they live in the ocean. So why am I including them? Because they have all the hallmarks of a lobster. First, in the front, 2 claws, vicious. In the back, a plump, juicy tail. In the middle, a big head, resembling that of a lobster. So basically, the point is we're cheating a little bit because we want to include more foods in this lobster video.
Traditional Louisiana Cajun crawfish are tossed in a cayenne pepper-based foil. But in the hands of Chef Nikki, owner of the restaurant Calma, that familiar recipe gets an Asian twist. First, she heats up a wok. She adds creamy butter and fragrant garlic oil. Then she fills the pan with plenty of crawfish, stirring thoroughly to let them absorb those rich flavors.
The advantage of the crawfish is that you can eat a lot without breaking your bank. They're way cheaper than lobsters, not as sweet, not meaty as the lobsters. However, if you know how to do it right, it's more fun to work with crawfish than lobsters.
A little bit of heat and a little bit of sweet, Cajun season and sugarcane molasses. Now for the Asian twist. Lemongrass, lime leaves, fish sauce, pineapple, and fresh basil bring a hint of aromatic freshness.
Everything coming from this pot smells fresh and amazing. Here in Vietnam, they utilize everything. And so I want to see what is inside of this claw. I want to see if I can actually break it. There we go. That's legit. That is our first bite of the day. Oh, small but mighty. It is slightly sweet. It's just like you're really getting the essence of the flavor of the crayfish. Yes, my body is yearning for something larger and more substantial, like my wife on our wedding night. Wait, what? I meant to talk to my therapist about that, not you guys. Let's move on to the tail meat. The proper way to eat this is you grab the tail, give it a little bit of a twist, then you suck the head. Oh my god, it's quite delicious. I actually do taste that Cajun seasoning. Now that I've sucked the soul out of that body, I'm gonna open up the tail. That is all the meat from one crawfish. That is so delicious. It's almost like a sweet Cajun glaze. There's familiar flavors, but also something new. I'm getting overwhelming sweetness from the pineapple, and I'm getting fresh aromatics from the lemongrass. It's something completely different. It does have a little bit of that lobstery sweetness, but since it's fresh water, it also has some minerality to it too. So it's fairly different from a lobster. I almost wish they could grow a bigger size version of crawfish.
Hey, there's a long lineup of lobsters that I'm gonna try in this video, ranging from a few bucks to a few $100s. Some are grilled, while others aren't cooked at all.
That's not something you see every day.
But before that, let's check out these small but mighty lobsters that cost 8 times more than the crawfish.
Our next lobster option is right here, the langoustine. These guys cost about $2.40 a piece. Now these guys are more expensive per pound than the average American lobster, and that's because they're elusive, hard to catch.
Langoustines thrive in the cold waters of the North Atlantic Ocean, burrowing into the seabed up to half a mile deep.
These particular guys are from Ireland. You can tell because of their Irish accents.
Your voice is in the DMs, hey baby!
The langoustine is indeed part of the lobster family. They do have claws and they have delicious meat in their tail. The next step is to turn them into something delicious.
Right after being caught, these langoustines are parboiled, flash frozen, and shipped to restaurants all around the world. Soon these guys will be transformed into an elegant ceviche. After peeling, the langoustines get a sprinkle of salt and pepper, followed by a drizzle of olive oil. A quick torch adds a touch of smokiness while keeping the inside raw and delicate. Next, the flavors are elevated with fresh lemon zest,
Ano?
chili powder,
Mali.
and a little more olive oil.
Hindi ako hihiga. Ano ko lang si ano.
Sandal. Juice are extracted, then gently heated and seasoned with a touch of sugar and salt. With all the elements ready, it's time for the assembly. A bed of pomelo pulp serves as the base for our favorite langoustines. Each is crowned with a dollop of caviar. Delicate agar jelly is added for texture, followed by a flourish of edible flowers. For a final touch, the pesto sauce is mixed with the green juice before being poured over the dish.
I want to ruin it by eating it. It's so gorgeous. There's flowers on it. It looks like it was put together by children with small hands, but actually it was made by a full-size dude. Thanks, Chef Dude. Here's the thing. Langoustine, I have had it raw, plucked straight from the ocean. It was so good. But here what they've done is added a lot more flavor. My idea is to use my fork and hand together and position it in my mouth. Oh, that's very good. Fascinating because it has been partially cooked, but it really does still feel raw. It doesn't feel plump or dense like a fully cooked langoustine. The flavor is fruity, a little bit sour, and then you get that rich hit of caviar as well. People oftentimes compare the langoustine to shrimp, but to me it tastes like something completely all its own. This, my friends, is the langoustine.
Soon we'll reveal which lobster is the biggest and most expensive of the day. But before we get to that, we've got this oddball that looks less like a lobster and more like a steampunk Roomba.
They're known as slipper lobsters. And inside this tank, we have two different species. Let's start with the small one. Oh, it's flat. It looks like it got ran over by an 18-wheeler. Instead of having the long antenna like a spiny lobster, it has this, a flat, flappy antenna right in front of its eyeballs.
Those flat antennas help them burrow into the sea floor, making them experts in camouflage. Though they're found worldwide, these lobsters were caught right here in the
Price for one of these little guys is $18.50. Wowza. And that's for the little one. Let's go check out the big one. This one's gonna be rowdy. Yeah, buddy. This is the big version of what we just saw. For one guy like this, it costs $117. I'm gonna try to open his tail. Let's see what happens.
Scare the shit out of me.
This right here is what we're after. That big, beautiful, juicy tail. Here you can see a size comparison between the two different lobsters. This one absolutely massive. This one petite, cute, and can I say more affordable. We're going to be eating two different species of slipper lobster, and they're going to prepare them in two different ways.
Start using hot water with lemongrass and lime leaves. Drop in both species of slipper lobster and simmer for 10 minutes, allowing the to separate their shells. When all the lobsters turn the same shade of orange, they're ready for the next step. Split them open and reveal the tender, succulent meat inside. I'll be tasting the expensive red slipper lobster soon, but first, the smaller, cheaper slipper lobster. In a pan, the chef melts butter and tosses in onions, carrots, and crispy bacon, allowing them to lightly saute. He enriches the mixture with water, milk, and the food. Whiskey until the flavors come together, forming a thick, creamy, bacony spread. Generously coat the lobster with this rich cream, then sprinkle on a layer of cheese. Bake them in the oven for 10 minutes until the cheese melts, forming a golden crust. All that's left.
This is a preparation that's not just loved in Vietnam, it's adored. There's people who love to put cheese on seafood. For the smaller lobster, I would say this is fairly substantial. Wow, they're not messing around here. That is delicious. It's very creamy and it's sweet. It's almost like putting a melted cheesecake on your lobster. Cheesy, creamy. The taste of that cream and the cheese, it mingles so well with the lobster itself. The lobster is sweet, it has a lovely texture, it's slightly tender, slightly stringy. These are addictive. And if I feel like keep eating this, we're gonna need some lobster rehab for sure. It's so new, it's so different, it's so Vietnamese. It's like a bacony, lobstery marshmallow. Very addictive, very delicious, very affordable compared to this guy right here.
This is one of Vietnam's classic seafood preparations. Place the freshly boiled premium slipper lobster on the grill shell side down. Sauce them with a blend of sweet and savory scallion oil, infused with chili sauce, pepper, MSG, and crushed peanuts. A sprinkle of crispy fried shallots adds a light oniony aroma and satisfying crunch. This red slipper lobster meat is said to be sweeter than the velvet lobster, hence the heftier price tag. I'll see for myself if it's really worth it.
This is the red slipper lobster, the most expensive one, costing $117. That means it's nearly $60 for this half. I'm gonna dig my fork in there. We're looking for a successful extraction. Let's go. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, it's got some weight to it. Now it's time for the moment of truth. Let's give it a shot. On this lobster, that meat, it's a little bit more dense. It's a mouthful. You've got that natural oceanic sweetness of the lobster pairing perfectly with that shallot oil and those fried shallots. It's like a little bit of bitter and a little bit of sweet together. What I like, and I think David Attenborough echoes the same sentiment, is that there are creatures of the sea that sometimes we see and think, maybe I shouldn't eat that, but actually, you should. Right, David Attenborough? He would agree.
As we move on to our fifth contender, the lobsters are only getting bigger and more expensive. Here, a rare beauty, gifted to us by the deep coastal waters of Australia.
The Australian red lobster coming in at $130 a piece. First of all, this lobster is far different from any lobster we've seen so far today. Just look at its incredible body, no claws, but in a way it makes it feel like a claw meat with these right here. It's big, long, spidery legs. But what we're after is this right here. That big, beautiful muscle. You can almost see it through its translucent skin. The muscle within the tail is the most prized part of this creature. My favorite part of these lobsters is absolutely not this part. My favorite part about these lobsters is how badass they look. Their eyes are easily protected by these giant spikes that protrude over each eyeball. Beyond that, it's got spikes all over its body. It's got spikes on its antennas. The whole thing is a spiky mess that if you mess with, could easily leave you damaged or leave your skin torn from your body. Here's the most important thing. Because these guys grow up in deep, frigid, cold waters, their meat is firm, fatty, succulent, and delicious. These are one of Australia's most expensive seafood exports, and they're prized as a luxury item in countries like China and here in Vietnam.
To prepare the Australian red lobster, some red onions, white onions, garlic, and chilies. Next, drop in the lobster throat, add some cooking wine, and set it on fire. Let that steam rise, then add the lobster head. Fill the pot with water and let it simmer. Dropping the lobster tail and legs, letting them cook in those fragrant flavors. When it's ready, immediately ice the tail and legs to ensure the perfect texture. Now here's my favorite part. The chef expertly handles the meat extraction, so later I can sit back and enjoy with no hassle. The tail shell is removed effortlessly, and the leg meat is extracted with surgical precision. Now back to the soup. Take out the carapace and set it to the side. Strain the soup and continue to simmer, adding sliced bamboo shoots, river leaf creepers, and salt. Now for the assembly. In a soup plate, arrange the bamboo shoots. Place the creepy river leaves in the center. Nestle the lobster tail right on top, then add the carapace for visual appeal and price justification. Place the leg meat on the edge of the plate, then pour in the soup. For the finishing touch, add in a few drops of chili oil, cilantro oil, and basil oil.
Our Australian red lobster course has arrived and it looks opulent, amazing. Visually, the leg meat as it's laid out now looks awesome. This is the first thing I'm going to try. Let's give it a shot. It's a very unique texture. It's a little bit dense and succulent, that's for sure. Beyond the tail and the legs, of course, we have the giant head right here. The inside of the head is full of what's known as tamale, and they've used that to create kind of a lobster stock for the broth here. There we go. Not awkward. Oh, that's delicious. A very clean, simple, straightforward broth. It tastes like these leaves they put inside. It tastes a little bit like the bamboo shoots, and then of course the essence of lobster. Now is really time to take apart this masterpiece and see what it's like inside. Oh, that makes sense. I thought this would be harder to remove. Oh God, this is it right here. Now talk about dense. This is certainly not a sinewy, falling apart tail. That is a solid piece of meat. That's what my wife said on our first date. I took her to a steak restaurant. Oh my gosh, it is Snow White pure indulgence. Oh yeah, baby. The flavors of the soup are very mild, and then you're just getting the true natural flavors of a lobster, which are sweet and decadent, but still a bit subtle. Oh man, I hate this job. Stop. This? Excellent. Different from any food we've had so far. It is a soup, and perhaps the only lobster soup we'll be experiencing today.
Our next lobster flew halfway across the world to join us, and the best part, he's still alive.
Oh, this right here is the American lobster. This guy weighs in at over 6 pounds, and he costs over $160. How much? 160. And he costs, yeah, there you go. The American lobster is the biggest of all the lobsters. These guys grow up deep in the Atlantic Ocean, where it is freezing, and where they have to store more body fat to stay warm. And you know what fat is? Fat is flavor. I would say the most special thing about these lobsters is right here. That claw meat, baby. Look, at the ends of their feet, they also have more claws. How many claws do you need in a day? I'm now about to find out what happens when you put your finger in the leg claw of a lobster. I've never seen anybody do this, not even Coyote Pearson, whatever that guy's name is. All right, here we go.
This American lobster is being served up in two courses. The first featuring the often discarded lobster blood. First, the chef mixes a pile of tiger prawns with cilantro. Then he adds cilantro. A few slices of lime garnish the plate. Now the chef pierces the lobster with a giant needle, extracting its blood, letting it drip over the minced shrimp. As with pork or beef blood, after a few minutes it coagulates, becoming solid.
Yeah, that's not something you see every day. In Vietnam, they have a long, rich history of eating raw blood from different animals. It's not just a lobster. It's all been solidified. Let's give it a shot. Wow. That jello is pretty intense. It is salty, it is briny, it tastes of the ocean. But no, it's not ocean water, because ocean water doesn't become solid like this. You're getting a lot here in one bite. You're getting these fragrant aromatics, you're getting that shrimp that gives it some body, and you're getting some crunchy bits. But really, what takes over your mouth more than anything is that intense taste of briny lobster blood jello. The more you eat it, the more you like it. Right here you can see some of that coagulated blood is a mysterious fluid, like those found in most of the hotel rooms I stay in. Coming up next, sashimi. Chef, take it away. The chef starts by taking the scissors to remove the tail. After removing the tail, he uses the scissors to remove the hard shell from the outside. He uses a knife to carefully carve out that uncooked meat from the inside. From here, he's moving the nasty bits from the underside of the tail. All that remains is the semi-translucent hunk of meat